Welcome to the Early Educator Podcast. We talk about everything that you need when it comes to growing your business, overcoming obstacles, and making an impact on not only the children in your care, but to your community and your family. My name is Blake. Today, to my left, we have, of course, Cinta Hester, the Executive Director of Our Daily Bread CACFP. And to my right, we have, of course, Philip Hester, the President of Our Daily Bread CACFP. Guys, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Hey, say it.
Yeah,
say it.
yeah.
That's
Blessed.
right.
Blessed.
Big
Yes.
energy every day.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's great. Oh man, I'm trying to think of any stories. I'm getting over a little cold, I guess. My son had a little cold. So if I sound a little weird today, that's why. But I think I'm about over it. But yeah, we're good though. We're good. Is that a good weekend? Good week, all that?
Busy week. Worked hard in the yard thanks to Mr. Hester. But other than that, I'm doing good.
That's
doing good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Yes, a lot of outdoor activity. So
Yeah, that's a good
lots
time.
of fun though. Good fun.
Yeah, it's a good time for sure. Good time to be summer. I mean, it's hot though, but yeah,
It is.
good time. Good time. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into this topic here. We hope you guys are having a good week so far. And so I just want to talk really quick, and I just want to start off by talking about kind of like the Navy SEALs. That there was somebody, he was like a general or something in Navy SEALs, and he was talking about how they're trained, how the Navy SEALs are trained, and they're taught and they're given like a very well thought out plan. If you think about it, the SEALs, they come out with a plan that, when you think about it, if, like, for example, when they went after Bin Laden, Bin Laden, you think about it, there's a plan that was made, drawn out by the top people in the United States. People about the president was in the room, you have the top executive people of the United States make this a really thought out plan. And so, one thing that the SEALs, that General said that he teaches the SEALs, is that even though they have this well thought out plan, they're also told that the plan is going to fail. So if you imagine, like, folks on making this huge plan, well thought out plan, and then telling them the plan's going to fail, but follow the plan. And so, I wanted to talk about that and talk about kind of when we have plans in business or life or whatever, when we have these plans, but the plans don't necessarily go as it was supposed to go. And so, if you can think of a lot of things, and I know for me specifically, I've had a lot of plans, and I don't know if any of them went exactly to plan. If I think about it. And when it doesn't go to plan, it can be super, super discouraging. And so, but the one thing they said was the best soldiers are trained on how to adapt. They're not trained on how to execute a plan perfectly. And so I wanted to kind of mention that, the idea of having a plan and the plan just not coming together. And so with that, I just wanted to see if you guys have ever had a plan that you all had thought out, or if you think of some kind of plan you had that you had to adapt to it, and see kind of your experience with that and how you dealt with a plan that didn't work out.
Well, first of all, with the Navy SEALs, I don't know if I'll go through with trying to execute that plan that they told me was going to fail, that they spent so much time on.
Yeah.
But unfortunately and fortunately, that is reality, though. I mean, that's reality, that plans, they will change. That's regardless of how well we've planned something. I'm not saying that you can't execute a lot of the plan, but at some, it's not going to go as planned.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the things. But yeah, one of the things that we had to adapt to was, and we constantly have to adapt to, are new rules and regulations in the business. being governed by the USDA. A lot of that. A lot of USDA rules and regulations constantly change. To fit the narrative of the day. So we have to adapt to those. And as long as we've been in business for our 27th year, over the years we just had to adapt, year after year to new rules and regulations. You get used to, this is the way we do things, this is the way we've always done things, and then boom, something changes. You're like, man, you gotta change course of plan. But I think too, you have to be always ready for that, and going into it, if you have an open mind and you understand that, man, this thing, we want it to go well. It's not going to go exactly the way we want it, but if it doesn't, we have to have an out, a plan B. And so, yeah, we're used to having to adapt to any type of change, because change is inevitable. And we know that, and that things are going to change.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the most important things too about adapting to change is, can you go in with the adapted plan with just as much energy as the original plan? Because a lot of times, like we have a plan, something doesn't happen, we're like, oh shoot, man, like now we gotta figure this thing out, we gotta do this, like yeah, but now we have to make a plan B, but yeah, it's plan B, like it's not plan A, like are we sure it's gonna work? So I think too, just being able to adapt to a different plan with just as much focus and energy is super important.
I think you do. I think you have to, like you said, like Philip said, there has to be a plan B, and I think you have the end goal in mind with both plans. For instance, we have a plan B here, like this, where we are in this office. We have a plan A, which is the layout and where we are now. Well, the plan A has worked great, but we see our team and how we work and how we motivated. But we're looking at our team and how they're working and how they're motivated. But we also see that we could lift our morale and we could lift the motivation of the team, and we think the team would work better if we move things around and we change things a bit for a certain group of our team. So we're going to do that. So that's our plan B. And so we're going to adapt. So we're in that process right now. We're going to adapt and change for plan B. And I think plan B is actually going to work better than plan A. And so that's where we are now in the process of doing something within our office. So I think you always have that end goal in mind. You have your team in mind. You have your mission in mind for the whole. And so I think adaptability, like you said, is important. I think you embrace the change, and you, as long as you embrace the change as the executive, and then that is contagious for your team. I think you're a good listener. You learn from your other team what is good for your other team members, and then your team can grow from that. The fact that you do have a plan B in mind, and you listen, and you're adapting, and you're paying attention to what your other team, the good for the whole, the good for the rest of the team as well. So I think you always should have a plan B, and at all times you should have that adaptability and pay attention to what's going on within your whole office, within all of your team members. And so a plan B is important, and your plan in a lot of things is going to fail, but your plan, you have to go forward. I think you should embrace change. I think you should look for the positive in both plan A and plan B and present that to your team. And let them know, approach things with presenting the positive to them in that plan B.
And I think too, as leaders, I think, you have to remove your ego too, because, plan A could be your project, and you've spearheaded this plan, and you've laid it all out and you want everybody to execute it, and it may not be the right thing or the right time or whatever. You have to identify that too as a leader and embrace the fact that, well, maybe it didn't work out. Our plan B is this, and that plan B may be your plan or a collective plan, of the rest of the team. So I think too, you have to remove that ego, and you can't be so fixated on, by heck or high water, my plan is going to go through. You can't, you just can't do it that way, because things do change.
Yeah, that kind of leads me to the point too, with those stories I was talking about earlier, with them going for Bin Laden, whatever, and they had this plan thought out, and they had this plan where they brought in these helicopters, and one of the helicopters that had some of the important technology in it, like the important technology they needed to accomplish their plan A, and when they came in and flew in, the helicopter crashed. And so before you think about it, like before they even hit the ground, it crashed. And so you're mentioning, not being so committed to the plan. When you think about it, their helicopter that had the technology on it gets taken down, right? And so not only did they get taken down, but they couldn't just leave all that technology in that helicopter. So not only did they have to make a new plan, but they had to literally blow up the original plan. And so I think a lot of times too, like you said, with the ego thing, sometimes we're afraid to just say, you know what, this plan's not working. We need to just tear it up, rip it apart. And so, but I'm glad you mentioned that, because sometimes we want to hold on to that idea so bad, because we're like, no, this was thought out. We spent so much time on it, but you'll spend way more time with the same result if you don't just blow it up. And so, yeah, I want to mention that too. Yeah. But yeah. One thing I want to mention too is with like mention like the helicopter crash. The helicopter crash could be, anything that doesn't go as planned, that ruins the plan. That's not something that you necessarily write on the board when you're making your plan. You don't write, okay, well, we're gonna work this out. We're gonna do this, but then this person's going to quit. And then when this person quits, this family member is going to get sick and they're going to need my help. And then this and then that. And then, so, you don't write that in the plan. Like, it's not part of the plan. And so, when that stuff does come in the plan, you have well written out, and those hiccups come in between, what helps you guys stay focused on on what you're trying to do? Like what can help keep you going when things in the plan get interrupted?
Just goes back to the mission. At the end of the day, the mission still needs to be carried out. We have to still fulfill that mission. And if that means new team members, or if that means a workaround with, this incident that comes up with a family member, or whatever the case, the mission is still the mission. The main thing is still the main thing. And so, and there's different routes to getting there, and you just have to take a different route.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. Remember why you started the business. Remember why you show up every day. Remember why your team shows up every day, and you rally those people around, and they'll make sure that it gets done. And that's happened here, several times. If we lose a team member, you'll get 3 or 4 to step up, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to fulfill that mission. And so that's some of the attributes of our team that I really love. When we're shorthanded or we've got a project deadline, it's all hands on deck until it gets done.
I think for me too, my mindset is, say somebody quits or a project fails or something of that sort. I wake up every day. I decided years ago, I think one day I woke up and it was, I'm always intentional. That is a word that is near. I just guard in my heart is I'm intentional about my actions, about everything that I do, and I try to have a positive attitude with my team, and you don't like the use the word expectations, but I do have expectations of my team to have a positive attitude and to come in here and work hard and to ethically be sound, to morally be sound. And those are words that we use a lot here. And so that's what really carries me through. And I expect that of myself so I can have those same expectations of the team. And so when something goes down, if I'm doing that myself, I feel like that should, send off some kind of, if I send that message out through myself, I feel like that should be contagious of the team. And so when something goes down, just like we talked about the episode in the ship, if the ship is going down, then I feel like everybody else just grabs a hold and they jump in and want to be a part of that. And so if, like Philip said, that's the way our team is here. If somebody calls in, then we've got several people that immediately jump on with the operations manager and say, hey, I'll pitch in and do this, or I'll pitch in and do this, or I'll pitch in and do this. And that's expected of all of us to do that as a team. And so I guess, if a plan fails, we all know that, hey, we can pitch in and we can do whatever we need to do to recover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's why it's good to always, remind your team of the mission. Sometimes you don't have to remind them. You just want to mention your mission. And we try to do that in all of our meetings. But the reason it's not for an ego thing or anything like that, it's just to remind people why we're here. And then that's fresh on everybody's mind why we're here. And then when things do come up, or you're shorthanded, or something's somebody needs something immediately, and whatever particular person may be on vacation or out of the office or whatnot, that's why you get other people pouncing on the problem or the issue and taking care of it, because they understand the mission. So it's very important that regardless of if you're a child care center or a daycare home, have your mission in place. What is the reason that you started the business, or you're a part of that business, or why do you open your doors every day? Mm-hmm. That's what you have to ask yourself and ask your team. And then that way everybody knows when this plan does blow up, plan B or C, D could be down to Z. I don't know. Depends on the plan. Yeah. That people are ready to make sure that it's still executed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really important to remember the mission. Remember that your mission is not, I don't know, mission is not a building. Your mission is not in a person. Mission is not, it's really good to remember your mission. One thing I heard recently was, I know I'm not a math guy, but it's okay. But it's could S plus T equals B. So S plus T equals B, and S is your situation. So if you think of situation, whatever problem comes up, whatever helicopter that is that you have blows up, that's your S. And plus T is your thinking. The T is like basically how you react to the situation, how you think of like, you can think like, oh, it's a really negative thing, or you're just like, you know what, stinks, but I'm gonna bounce back. So if you have your situation plus your thinking, that's going to equal your behavior. And so like I like to think that aspect, just to think, okay, the situation doesn't define, the outcome, but it's how you think in the situation. And so that'll lead to the behavior that hopefully that can lead you to adapt and lead you to, find a different plan until it works. And so I want to bring that up too, just constantly reminding anybody listening that whatever situation you're in, your situation doesn't define the result. It's your thinking in the situation.
That's good stuff.
Absolutely, I like that, and that's where you're really going to move forward is when you can wrap your head around what it is. Because we've been caught off guard, we've been stunned by maybe losing a team member, very valuable team member. We didn't see it coming. It's not that it was a bad thing. I mean, they just had to do what was best for their family to move on.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case, but even in that, although you're stunned, you cannot be paralyzed by that. You just can't dwell there. And sometimes that's hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, well, what is there anything we could have done better, or what, But at the same time, once you wrap your head around it, okay, now my thinking, let me get my head straight. Let's pull this thing together. Then you start just looking around. You don't have to look far. There's already somebody there with their hand up. Not literally, but their job performance has its hand up saying, hey, I'm ready right here. And we've had that. And you identify that and you keep rolling, And they're not a plan B. They're just waiting on their turn. Yeah. So, look at things negative. You're going to lose good team members. Yes, we all do. That's okay. That's just a part of it. Yeah. They can move on and they can find their, place somewhere else, and they'll thrive wherever they go. And then there's somebody on that team that's just waiting to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah.
So we've had that a lot as well.
Definitely. Definitely. So is there anything else you guys want to bring up about ruined plans and how to deal with those plans? Is that all? Cool. Well, yeah, we hope this is beneficial to you guys. I guess before we get off, do you have any announcements or anything? I know taking root, I think we're wrapping up our last beds. So if you received your bed this year, congratulations. Hope you enjoy it. For those who still have your beds, hope those are doing well. Be sure to send us pictures, tag us, social media, stuff like that. We would love to do that and stay connected with you guys. But yeah, you guys have anything else you want to announce at all or anything?
No.
Nothing? Good?
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for listening. And, like I said, we'll see you next time. All right. Have a good one.